Hello, you lovely people. This is me, the Bombay Chef Varun Inamdar, and welcome to Rajshri Food. Today's recipe is literally the national soup of India, Mulligatawny. Let's begin. Let's begin this recipe straight in the pressure cooker because all of this is going to get pressure cooked except rice, because rice in this case is used as a garnish. Well, no other garnish except rice. Maybe a little bit of chili oil and coriander if you please, but otherwise literally no garnish. The first ingredient, regular vegetable oil, not too much, just so that you activate all the vegetables with a little bit of a stir fry. The first ingredient that actually goes in this, peppercorns. The next is a knob of ginger along with some cloves of garlic. Now the whole idea of this recipe is to ensure that everything goes in the pressure cooker, gets pressure cooked, and eventually gets pulverized into a nice, thick, hearty soup. Let's chop this roughly. Along with this, sliced red onions, sticks of celery. Along with this, I'm going to add in some lentils. Now in this case, I'm going to use green gram, which is polished and skinned, and along with that, red lentils. So literally moong dal and masoor dal. Let's stir this well. And time to add in some vegetables and also fruit. Now the first thing that goes in this are apples. Now apples, primarily because this soup really became extremely popular in the times of the British rule in India. And that's why this recipe has a very predominant British or English touch to this. Apples in this case, and along with that, a very peculiar ingredient called the curry spice. Now curry spice, of course, as an Indian, we do not use it on a daily basis. But if you leave the subcontinent and go internationally, a lot of curry powder or curry spice paste is used in a lot of Indian curries or recipes. Now, to make life easy, I'm going to use garam masala because that's easily available in all our homes. So I'll keep this aside for now and get on to cutting an apple. Well, I'm adding red apple in this case. By all means, you can also use Granny Smith, which is a green apple with a green skin. And I'm using this with the skin. Now, what is the difference between the two apples? Now, this apple generally is sweeter. The green apple or the Granny Smith apple has a little bit of a tarty nature. So eventually you have to kind of balance the amount of sugar and lemon in this recipe eventually. I'm going to add in some carrots. Of course, red carrots are in season. I'm going to make the best use of this. Let's stir this well and ensure that all of this gets sauteed. Now, I've kept the flame deliberately on a high because I want the dals and the vegetables and the fruit to start caramelizing, and that also leaches a wonderful caramelly note in the soup eventually. Let's move on to pumpkin. Now this is a classic red pumpkin. Need to remove the seeds as well as the skin. The pumpkin also goes into the pressure cooker, and we give all of this a good mix and add in garam masala. Last but not the least, water. I'll give all of this a mix and eventually allow this to pressure cook till all of this is nice and mushy. I'm using the word hearty again and again because that's exactly how this soup is eventually going to turn out to be. It's going to be almost like a cream of vegetable soup. In this case, cream of apples, pumpkins, onions, celery, lentils, and eventually served with rice as garnish. Let's pressure cook this. The mixture has beautifully pressure cooked, and with this, off goes the flame. Wait till the pressure in the cooker subsides, and once that happens, we'll open this. The pressure has settled. Let's open and check. The next step is to pulverize all of this. Now I'm going to use a stick blender while this is still hot. You can use a mixer. You can cool this down completely and then run this nice, fine and smooth in a mixer. Time to move this back onto the flame. And this time we're going to add in some finishing ingredients. In this case, turmeric powder for that wonderful golden yellow hue to the soup, coconut milk, extract of fresh coconut, salt as required. Now in this soup, I've deliberately added salt at this stage because you want the consistency and all of the textures and everything in the soup to get wonderfully balanced. After a quick few boils, off goes the flame, and we need to strain all of this through a soup strainer. The whole idea of straining the soup is to ensure a cleaner and smoother mouthfeel. With this, your Mulligatawny soup is done and ready. Let's keep this aside and let's bring the serving bowl. Steamed rice. This is an integral part of this soup. Chili oil, coconut cream, and last but not the least, sprigs of coriander. With this, ladies and gentlemen, Mulligatawny soup, the national soup of India, is done and ready. Let's recreate this recipe in our humble homes and bring back its lost glory through our home kitchens. This is me, the Bombay chef, Varun Inamdar, signing off. Stay tuned.